Hey guys, if you're tuning in, I'm running about 20 seconds behind, but no worry. I'm looking like a snacky. Feeling good. I'm about being single, seeing double, making purple. All right, let's do this thing. I'm trying to think, do I have everything, B? Hello? Hello?
What's up?
Yo, can you hear me?
How are you?
Okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? Sorry, I'm in my car. Yeah, I can hear you.
I was good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you turned sideways. What's up, shorty?
Oh, okay. I'll do it this way then. What's up? Sorry, I'm in my car. I'm getting adjustments done to my running leg because I'm leaving for California tomorrow. So, of course, it took so much longer than expected, like it usually does. I've been here for like 2.5 hours.
Now, what is that? What does that mean? You're getting adjustments done?
So, like, I just actually got a new running blade. I'm just testing it out. It's just like a different kind of spring, and it's kind of more springy and everything. So they put it on last week, and really hectic, and it was just too heavy. So now they're just fixing it for me with like making different adjustments, making it taller, shorter. It's crazy all the work that goes into it that people don't really realize.
Noelle, I think we got a crazy lag right now. It could be my Wi-Fi, but you're kind of like looking like a robot, and like when you move your mouth, audio comes out like 55 seconds later.
How's that? Here, let me try to move my car into a better area.
No problem. Take your time.
Yeah, I literally asked about it like an hour ago. I was like, "Yeah, are we almost done?" He was like, "Oh yeah, we're not even close to being done yet." How's that? It seems like it's more 5G coming up right now.
Still miserable.
See if it works.
Where are you, in a Wrangler?
Yeah, I have my Jeep Wrangler right now.
Fallen.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, if you want to take a couple minutes to find some better service, no problem. We can wait.
Okay. Yeah, but it still says no longer that.
B, you with me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was just like finding better service. This is pretty hilarious. Well,
all right.
If you're tuning in, this is the world we're living in, man.
Does that seem better?
Shots of shreds. No, can't hear you. Still looking like a robot.
Crap. All right, you know what I might need to do? I might need to go into.
I saw you rub your cheeks just now. I think you're probably like 50 seconds behind me.
50 seconds behind. It says I have 5G and it says I have
pissed,
service.
Honestly, Noelle, I still can't hear you because like I got this mustache rocking for this podcast. I was pumped, but still can't hear you.
All right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to next step.
Like you actually have no audio. And so, Noelle, I think.
Oh my God.
Do you want to wait just like 15 minutes? Do you want to like go to like your crib or something? I can wait. We can start in a little bit.
Yeah. Let me go inside. There's Wi-Fi inside, so I can ask them if I can just go in.
I'll just text you real quick.
All right. Okay, sounds good.
Sorry, she's just finding service. Okay. That's a nightmare. If you're tuning in, guys, sorry. All right. So Noelle said she's going into the prosthetic place and she's going to use their Wi-Fi. She's a woman on the go. No, it's funny. Be the last time we had I think we've had Wi-Fi issues like 3 times on the podcast. Can you name one of them? Do you remember? Oh, I forgot how it is. His was miserable. His was so bad. Yeah, there was that. Don't you remember Slickback Sammy, Health Point Foods? His was so bad. And he felt so bad about it. He goes, I don't know, man. The service, man. It's a new office. Then Joe Kennedy, the second one, was really bad.
Oh yeah.
He was like, I'm in the boonies in Western Mass.
When's the last time you talked to him? Steve?
Not recently. I wonder what he's going to get into. Who knows? I think it'd be kind of a sick story if he ran for mayor in Boston. He had a really, like, Boston skewed towards him heavily. I think he won Boston like 60-40 in the senator race. So it's got to stand for something, right?
Did you really?
Yeah. So like Western Mass and Southern Mass, just Markey smoked him.
I feel like Markey must have done better in progressive areas though. No? Cambridge, like those types of places.
I think Joe did much better with minorities. We'll have to actually, let's look that up. Oh, yeah, I got it right here. So 155 to 44. What is a gateway city?
What do you say?
What is a gateway city?
A gateway city. Like as a term to describe a city. What context was it in?
Gateway cities are mid-sized urban centers that anchor regional economies around the state. So like Brockton, Fall River, Fitchburg, Haverhill, Holyoke, Lawrence, Lowell, New Bedford, Pittsfield, Worcester. It's pretty much what they're saying. The gateway cities, like not Boston or Cambridge. They're saying Kennedy smacked him there, but Markey actually pulled back the dub in Boston. So I was wrong. Noelle is back. I still can't hear you. I think your mic might be muted. I see you way better now, but I think your mic is still muted. I can't wait till we get the studio back, B. You're shouting silence at the camera. You're shouting silence at the camera. Can't hear you. Nope, she's out. Mikey Bonkers and I are talking about getting to space.
Is the old stew still cluttered? Is that storage?
Wait, the old studio? You mean Junkyard Alley?
Did it work?
I can't hear you, dude.
You still can't hear me?
Hold on. Maybe it could be on me.
Because I can hear you now.
Let's try this. Talk.
Hello?
But there's like a 40-second lag still.
I'm on Wi-Fi. It's still
better,
not working.
better. Let's go.
It's
go.
good? Okay.
Oh, finally. Holy shit.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
All right, let's get into it before our computers and our phones break down.
All right.
On the phone, hey, nice to finally meet you.
I know, nice to meet you.
On my phone, I have our producer, Brendan, and he did a bunch of kick-ass research to make sure we sound professional for this.
Awesome. Sounds great.
He said, what's up?
What's up, Brendan? How are you?
All right, so before you broke out last time, you were kind of explaining what's going on. You're in a prosthetic place, or?
Yeah, so like I'm at my prosthetic company. It's basically like my doctor's office. I got a new blade last week, so I've just been testing it out and getting the kinks out. So I just needed to make some adjustments to it. It's a little too heavy for my liking, so they're just kind of making different adjustments to try to figure out what's wrong. But usually it's just the height. Need to fix the height and like the duration and everything like that. There's a ton of stuff that goes into it. It's crazy that you would never think of, but
now again, I'm like totally new to the prosthetic world. So if I sound like an idiot this whole time, just let me know.
Don't you worry about it.
So your blade is essentially like the lower part of your prosthetic, correct?
Yeah. So the top half is the socket, which basically is what my leg goes into, and then I have a mechanical knee, and then I have that blade, which is that big, the big C thing yeah.
Now, before we move on, can you just give a quick synopsis of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, my name is Noelle Lambert. I'm a member of the U.S. Paralympic track and field national team. I was the first above knee amputee to ever play Division I lacrosse, and I'm also the founder of the Born to Run Foundation.
And you're currently training for Tokyo, right?
Yes, I'm currently training for Tokyo 2021.
Now, was this supposed to happen in 2020, but then COVID canceled it?
Yes, it was supposed to happen. It was crazy because I was only going to have a year to train, but then they made the decision to push it 1 year exactly. So it's kind of been a bittersweet feeling just because I was so new to it. So I was very nervous, but having this whole extra year to train has kind of been a blessing in disguise. So I'm kind of grateful for it because I can get more competition and experience under my belt.
Have you gotten faster in the past year with the extra training?
I would say yes, I think so. And with this new blade too, I think that we haven't really timed myself. My coach is very big on if he does time us, he doesn't tell us. He's very big at keeping that to himself until like it's an actual competition. But I can just feel quicker and faster with the new blade and technology that I have right now with it. And so, yeah, I'm definitely excited. I am going to California tomorrow. So hopefully I'll get some times when I'm there just to figure out where I'm at.
Can you elaborate why your coach doesn't time you?
I don't know. It's just kind of like things that we shouldn't be worrying about and only he should be worrying about. He's very old school with that, I would say. But it's kind of it's like a breath of fresh air. Like whenever we do workouts and stuff, he'll have a stopwatch, and like if he thinks that we can go faster, he'll just be like, pick it up or slow it down. Like he's very big on that. I think he's not trying to worry about times right now, because we really have nothing coming up other than the Paralympics, but we don't have any competitions as of right now scheduled within the next few months. So he's just worrying more about the technique and running form rather than getting the speed, because he says that can be arranged and everything in like 2 months. So he's just worrying about the technique and everything like that.
But it must be on your mind, right? Like, am I like?
Oh yeah, all the time. It's crazy because everyone always asks me, and I'm like, I don't know. My coach keeps it to himself, and like even my prosthetic company, they're always like, so are you running faster? Like we need to know this, so that we need to know if the blade's working or not, or if it's a better blade for you. And I'm like, I don't know, because usually I'll do like a workout with them on the side, and they'll be timing me, and they'll be going and like making adjustments to my leg and everything like that.
Do you think it's just totally mental? Like, to be honest,
100%.
I think that's like the one thing a coach should do is time your runs.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much
you paying this guy, man?
Listen, I don't pay him. The US team pays him. So he's a great guy, great coach. I mean, every athlete that he has trained has like always hit their fastest time and mark with him. So I trust everything that he's doing. But yeah, it's a crazy process. I'm honestly so new to it. So I honestly just do whatever he tells me to do.
Well, you know how I texted you yesterday? I was like, yo, I'm going to go time my 100-meter.
Oh yeah. How'd that go?
Miserably. I slipped on the first couple tries. It was pretty bad. I think we're sitting right around the same time. I think I was like 16 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it just if it's not something you train for, that's like 100% fine, and you're doing more long distance, so that definitely makes sense. But you never like, I mean, everyone's always like, "Oh no, I want to race you," and I'm always telling them, I'm like, "You will probably beat me." The girl that I train with, she is a below-knee amputee, so we don't compete against each other, and she's a lot faster than I am. And I swear to God, she could kick my ass if I had 2 legs, like 100%.
Now, yeah, that was something when we were researching. Like, we learned that there are classifications based on Paralympians, which I never knew. It was like T160, T280,
Yeah.
Can you kind of explain that?
I am a T63, which just means I am an above knee amputee. So I only compete against people who have above limb deficiencies. And then there's a classification group for every disability that you can ever think of, like below knees, double amputees, visually impaired, cerebral palsy. Like it's crazy. Like, and then if you're legally blind but not 100% blind, like they test you in these classification appointments, and that's how they are determined what group you're in. So it's a really fun and like weird process, because I mean, I knew what classification group I was going to be in, because it's very easy, but there are people out there who like aren't 100% blind, but they can still see like in certain lights, and it takes them so long to be in a classification group. It's crazy.
Wait, so let's say you're like legally blind, but you're not fully blind. Is that a different classification than someone who's fully blind?
Yeah. So there's probably like, I would say maybe 3 to 4 different classification groups for people who are legally blind and then 100% blind. Because if you're 100% blind, you're usually running with someone who's tethered to you, who can see 100%, and they're just your guide athlete, which is like one of the coolest races you'll ever go and watch, because they train together all the time, and you need to be in sync and stepping at the same point and everything. And it's just crazy, because the person that can see and that's able-bodied, they can't cross the finish line before you. They have to cross it behind you. So it's like they have to push you forward. It's a whole different thing. I mean, I always say that going to like a Paralympic track meet is always such a fun and cool experience, because you get to see all these amazing athletes, not only competing like at the best of the best that they can, but they're also competing like the best that I've ever seen any able-bodied do. So it's an amazing thing to see.
Yeah, we thought like I didn't know there were classifications before we were researching, and so we were like looking at all the world records and stuff. And the world record,
Oh yeah.
it was like 10 seconds, but then like I clicked the lady's Wikipedia, and it was like, yeah, she's blind. So I thought you had to compete against people that were blind with 2 functional
Oh
legs. I
yeah,
was like,
no.
that's super unfair.
I was like, yeah, no. So then only arm amputees run against each other. So it's all different. It is very fair, I would say. There are a couple hiccups. Like when I competed at the world championships, there was actually a girl that I was competing against, and everybody else was coming. She had 2 legs, and she had like a club foot. And so there just weren't enough people like her to have her own classification group. So they threw her in with ours. And she literally like smashed the world record. Like she beat all of us. So it was just like everyone was like texting me after asking. And I mean, it kind of sucks because I came in 4th in the world, and like that could have been bronze for me. So it's like a weird, not unspoken rule. I mean, it changes every single year, like the rules and everything. So I'm hoping, I mean, I'm just going to guess now that I'm definitely going to be competing against her in Tokyo, but hopefully it'll change for Paris 2024. It's just, it's all politics kind of, and it's all kind of ridiculous, but nothing you can really do.
You have an arch nemesis.
Yeah, I mean,
Slash her
she was
tires.
very nice. She was very nice, but like you could kind of tell, like everybody who she beat was just like looking at her, like she was so excited. We were like, all right, congrats! Like you beat people who have 1 leg, like congrats.
Now, what's the gap between you and first and second?
So first and second who were above me, they were like high 15s. So low 15s. So like I'm in like the high 15s right now. But I mean, it changes all the time because people get better, and it's crazy because the girl I train with, she's like, yeah, like you don't focus on like their times that they're getting before Tokyo. Like you have to show up to the big stage and get that time when like all those nerves and everything are kicking in. So, I mean, it's crazy how like things can change, but I mean, I'm up there. It's just, I'm definitely the fastest, I would say, in the United States as of right now.
Fucking go.
Which is 100% fine with me. I know that, I mean, I go to these competitions and I'm just thinking to myself that I'm just really lucky to be competing alongside the best in the world. And like for a couple of years, I was looking up to all these girls who I was competing against and like kind of studying them. And so to be able to compete alongside them and be up there with them, I mean, that's pretty cool.
You got that Tom Brady media presence.
Yeah.
You're being too nice.
Listen, yeah.
I know you want to slit these girls' throats. I know you want to take them out.
Listen, my parents and my mom like always says that she's gonna pull like a Tanya Harding on the girl with the 2 legs. So like, I mean, I have to be the respectable and the humble one in the family.
Wait, so can you just totally simplify and clarify that? So the girl who beat you has 2 functional legs.
Yeah, so she has what is called the club foot. I'm not 100% certain or like educated on it, but I mean, it's crazy because when I was warming up, me and one of my teammates, we were warming up and we were going to be competing against her, and she wasn't even limping. I mean, when she was running, when she was walking, we were like, are you kidding me? Like, this girl seems fine. So yeah, she has 2 pretty much functioning legs. I don't know what goes into these processes. I'm still fairly new, so like I don't want to step on any toes when I say that, but it seemed to be a little crazy. Like at least she should be competing against people who are below knee amputees. Like she was more up there with that time than competing along the above knee amputees. So it's crazy, but it's something that I can't really complain too much about because it's out of my hands.
So she just has 1 fake foot.
Kinda. I'm not 100% certain what a club foot is. It's okay. I think like you just don't have like 100% function, but you still have your leg. So
now traditionally, again, this is like totally new to me. Traditionally, the below knee amputees run faster than the above knee amputees.
Oh yeah, because they have a full functioning knee, whereas people who are above knee amputees, they have like a mechanicalized knee. So we have to rely on the mechanicalized knee to do a lot. So that's 100% why, like, a lot of, like, I don't think, I mean, I've never seen an above knee amputee beat a below knee amputee that are like in like a serious competition. It's usually pretty like cutthroat. They don't compete against each other just because it's completely two different disabilities. It's basically like running against an arm amputee. That's what I would kind of say.
And I'm sure wheelchair is just a totally separate designation, right?
Yeah, so those are called the wheelies. So they have their own classification groups, which is, I mean, it's pretty cool to watch. I actually know one of this girl, her name's Tatiana Mcfadden, and she's just a complete beast. And we were at the Olympic Training Center last year, and she was like, "Yeah, I gotta go do a marathon on the track." And I was looking at her, I was like, "A marathon? Isn't that like 26 or something miles?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "How many laps is that?" And she was like, "I think like 190, like two." It was insane. She was out there for like 4 hours.
Is she just jacked?
Oh yeah, it's insane. Like her muscles, I was just like, "Oh my god, I'm so intimidated right now."
Well, so can you kind of just give everyone because you had told me this story, but can you just kind of give everyone a background on like where you grew up a little bit? I know New Hampshire, and then kind of playing sports and then getting into your accident.
Yeah, so I grew up.
And I'm sorry, I'm sure you've probably said this like 5,000 times.
You're fine. Don't worry about it. I grew up in Londonderry, New Hampshire. I have 3 other brothers, so they were always pretty big on sports. So that's what kind of got me into being active and playing sports and everything. I was a 3-sport varsity athlete all through high school, playing soccer, basketball, and lacrosse. And then I earned myself a Division I scholarship to play at UMass Lowell in Massachusetts. And my freshman year,
was that the only school you were getting looks at?
I was getting looks at like a few other ones, but what really drew me in to UMass Lowell is it was a new Division I program, so I knew that I was going to be playing right off the bat. Whereas like all these other schools, like you go and maybe you're sitting out your freshman year, you're just working. I just knew that I was going to be a part of something that was so cool, like to be able to start a Division I program and like to be able to say like I was like one of the first teams to do so. That kind of is really what drew me in. So I committed really early because I had a really great relationship with the coach. I had a great relationship with the university. So when I did go there, I was starting every single game. I was a leading point scorer on the team. I was on the all rookie team for my conference. I was rookie of the year for my team. And
so your decision to go to UMass Lowell was purely athletic. Like you didn't give a shit about the academics.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was literally sports is what got me into a really good college. I never applied myself.
Trash student.
Yeah, I never applied myself in school the best that I could have before my accident, I would say. I just didn't really care, which, you kind of look back on and you kind of regret just because maybe it could have gotten me into one of those top Division I schools and stuff like that. Because, I mean, I was talking to Vanderbilt for a little bit. I mean, that's a really like sick school to go to, but then my grades were kind of what was like slowing me down on that.
Listen, before we move on, let's get on the same page about this. I do not regret a single night not doing homework.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I would never do homework. Literally, like all through high school.
Shot.
All through high school, like even like freshman year of college, it was very difficult for me to apply myself. I mean, for me, it was literally strictly about sports, and that was why I went to college. And so I didn't really care what my major was. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. So I literally picked a major that I knew I'd be able to pay attention to, which was criminal justice and psychology, because it was very interesting. I had no interest in becoming a cop. It was just strictly soul based on like I'm gonna go into a class and learn about like different things that are really interesting, so I'll be able to pay attention. So my freshman year, I mean, I didn't do awful in school, but I definitely could have done better. And
I don't know why you keep defending this. Like, I hate when people do this. No, some people just hate school and are not good at it. Like, that's okay. And now you're bummed. Like, you realize it doesn't matter.
I mean, because after my accident happened, I started applying myself a lot more to academics and just applying myself more to, because I was that type of athlete that a lot of people hated. I hated doing any extra work. I hated practice. I only liked the game. So I'd only show up to the game and like I would do really well, but then I would show up to practice and I would be a little shit. So it was just that it was that athlete that coaches loved and hated at the same time. Like I always had a really good sense of humor and stuff. And like I was always very bright in that aspect and like loud, but I definitely didn't apply myself a lot. And so the reason why I keep saying like all this is because like this is something that I always talk about in like my motivational speaking and everything and speeches, like telling people like you don't want to look back and regret it and stuff like that. Because I mean, I definitely could have been like a better student, a better athlete. I mean, so when my accident did happen, it was kind of like shit. Like I don't know what I want to do with my life. Sports was literally the only thing going for me that I thought, and I thought that I would never be able to play again. I thought my life was over. I thought I was never going to be able to run again, walk again. And I mean, it just kind of made my whole mindset switch. So yeah, people who are listening that don't know, I was involved in a moped accident. In Martha's Vineyard, I sideswiped a dump truck coming at me. I really had no idea how to ride it. It was my first time driving a moped, and my leg was actually severed on the scene. I remember looking down, seeing my leg was gone. I was completely conscious, completely lucid. I literally told somebody to call my mom, like gave her the phone number. Like it was crazy. Like I was so much in shock where I didn't feel anything. So it was just insane.
Now, where in Martha's Vineyard did it happen?
It was on like the main road, like Barnes Road, like near Oak Bluffs. Like we were on our way to the beach. So it was, I think that's like the highway in Martha's Vineyard, Oak Bluffs. I mean, Barnes Road, that was my first time going there too. So I wasn't really too familiar with the island.
Yeah, my family has houses down there.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't even mean to sound like a dick, but
no,
there's literally like bumper stickers everywhere that says mopeds are dangerous. It's like a problem down there.
Oh yeah, so I started hearing about that a lot after the fact. Like so many people have been complaining about it and trying to get them banned on the island. And I mean, for a long time, like, I mean, my family was trying to do the same, but I wasn't really obviously if people know how to drive it, if they're taught properly, then 100%, like that's fine. But I 100% wasn't really too aware of how to ride a moped, how to drive a moped. I was 19 years old. Like the test I took in the beginning was a joke. I didn't really care. I didn't like actually take it seriously enough, which was probably 100% on me. So
yeah, but I mean, any kid our age would have done that.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to the beach and like you probably want to go house some White Claws with your girlfriends.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, so you were totally conscious when the whole thing happened, and when did the pain start to set in? Was it 30 minutes of just pure adrenaline, or?
Yeah, like I would say it was like 30 minutes to an hour. And then I was actually med flighted from Martha's Vineyard to Boston Medical Center. And so that's during the helicopter ride. That's when everything started to hit in, and like I started feeling everything. And I just remember thinking, all right, this isn't a great feeling. I remember complaining to all the EMTs in the helicopter, just being a huge pain in the ass. They had like headsets on and they didn't give me one. So every time they were talking, I couldn't hear anything they were saying. And then they gave me another dose of the medication I was on, and I didn't know who or what I was for the rest of that helicopter ride. So that kind of helped.
Were you with your friends this whole time? They came on the helicopter with you, or?
No, so I was actually by myself. The girl that was riding on the moped with me, she stayed in Martha's Vineyard Hospital. Realistically, I think she should have been med flighted as well, just because I think she would have gotten better treatment, better care at Boston Medical Center. And I just think it would have been better for like her recovery and everything. But so she ended up staying back there. But my parents actually met me at BMC, so I got to see them right before going to surgery, which was good, because I mean, my mom got that phone call literally thinking that I was gonna die. So telling her that my parents that I was stable, I think that was definitely needed before going into surgery, and it kind of calmed their nerves a little bit. So
now I'll tell you something funny. When I was 16 down Martha's Vineyard, it was like I'm sure it was the same thing for you, like right at that age where you kind of start like smoking, trying out weed and like drinking.
Yeah.
And so that summer, my friends and I would like, we'd love going down there because like you could get like fucked up and no one would really know. And
exactly.
So it was July 4th. I had gotten like actually hammered for the first time with my friends. Then the next night, my friends, my cousins, and my best friend were like, all right, we're going to go back out. We're going to get smacked again. I was like, I don't really know. Like, I'm not really feeling it tonight. I have a bad feeling about it. So like an hour and a half passes and I get a call and I'm like, someone's like, hey, dude, Jack, I'm sorry to call you out, bro. They're like, hey, you got to come down here. This Jack's acting like very fucked up. So I walk like 2 miles away from my house, and my best friend who does all the graphics, the thumbnail I sent you, who does everything for us.
Yeah.
Incomprehensibly fucked up. Like,
oh my God.
Like he had housed 2 Nalgene vodka bottles.
Oh my God.
Just because you don't know, right? And so that night progressively got worse and worse. And like we went to the Martha's Vineyard Hospital that night, and I thought that dude was gonna die.
Oh my God.
That place is cursed. That place is cursed.
It is. It's crazy.
It was so bad. Like, he had like a catheter in his thing. So like piss. And so like his BAC was like a 0.42, and they pull the catheter out, and he's screaming, you bitches are the devil. You bitches are the devil. And I'm over here.
That's awful.
I know, it's ridiculous. And I have like a mohawk. I'm like 16 years old, and I have like a mohawk. I look like a punk. And it still is probably one of the worst nights of my life. Like,
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
So you and I are never going back there.
Yeah.
So you start recovering, right? Like, I'm sure you get surgery. Was it a conscious decision at the time? Like, all right, you're gonna have to become an amputee.
Well, so my leg, everything below the knee was severed on the scene. So I remember seeing someone literally carrying my leg around in a towel. But I still had my knee at that point. And they had to they pulled my parents aside and just saying like she would have a better quality of life and wouldn't have to do as many surgeries if we amputated the knee as well. And so that's why they ended up taking it during surgery. But I mean, I was very lucky just because I went through 2 surgeries and I was there for 4 days and then I went to rehab. I mean, you hear all these stories about other people going through these like insane accidents and they're there in the hospital for months. I mean, I was literally there for like 4 or 5 days and I was transported to Spalding Rehab and I was there for a week and then I was back home. So I literally felt like I was there for a year, but it really was a quick process. And like, I was actually really grateful that I knew that my leg was gone before my surgery, because I think waking up and having them tell me that my leg was gone, I think I would have taken it a lot differently. But I was very like uplifting. I mean, I had tons of visitors every single day telling me that like my life isn't over. I had a lot of the Boston Marathon survivors reaching out, coming to visit. So that was amazing. And like, they were the ones telling me your life isn't over. You're going to be able to do everything you want to with your life. So sitting there, listening to them tell me that, I really just made it a point to myself. I was like, all right, if they're telling me this, I'm going to believe it, because I can't feel sorry for myself with everything that they've gone through. And if they're sitting here being badasses, then I need to do the same. So I would say my process was definitely very weird in that aspect, because I literally like a psychologist came in to see me in Spalding just to make sure like everything was fine, like mentally. And he was in there for 10 minutes. He walked out. She's like, yeah, she's fine. So I actually took it surprisingly well. Obviously I had my moments, but do you
ever get angry?
No, I don't actually. I always say now I'm grateful for it, and I honestly wouldn't change a thing about it, because it really did change my life for the better. I mean, like I said, had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I was basically a shithead before my accident, just didn't care about anything other than myself. I was really selfish. And so having this happen to me, it just like made me think back and realize what's important and not to worry about stupid things that aren't important and stuff like that. So I never get mad at it. certainly like I've had a great support system, like my friends and everybody, my family members coming and like helping me out. My friends are amazing. And I mean, I have a very sick sense of humor about it, and so do they. I mean, it's insane the amount of jokes and everything and the amount of things that they try to get away with and say, well, my friend has one leg, so like I can't do this. I mean,
so you use the sympathy card a little bit?
Yeah, you know what? I milk it, and I 100% can. Like, I have a Jeep, like we were talking about. I have a Jeep Wrangler, and I have the handicap pass, and so I get dirty looks all the time. And I'm always the one driving my car everywhere because I know I'll get a parking spot. So my Jeep Wrangler is known as the clown car because all the girls are rushing up and like everyone wanting to get in it. And then we park in a handicap, and then they see all these blondes and all these girls getting out of the car, and everyone wants to start yelling at you. And I can't tell you how many times people have said something to me saying that's a handicap, and I don't even open my mouth. All my friends just start attacking that person, saying like I have one leg and stuff like that. So I mean,
you skip the line at Capo?
Oh yeah, I skip every line. Like harpoon, you know, that crazy line that goes like a mile long. I'll just walk to the front with 12 of my friends, and I'll be like, yeah, can we get in? Like, I don't want to wait in line. And they just let me in. So listen, I don't have a leg. I can milk it as much as I can. And I don't want to hear anything about it from other people.
Well, I have a nut allergy, so I might start doing the same.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. Just got to milk everything.
Well, yeah, no, I had the COVID for a couple of weeks, and I was trying to milk it like crazy. I was like, yeah, like it's hard for me to go out there and make food. Like, if you guys could bring me a home cooked meal, that would be awesome.
Awesome. Yeah. I would do the same thing.
So how long did the rehab take after? And like, what is it like? What did it feel like mentally different? Like you'd send signals to your leg and it just wouldn't move, or?
Yeah, so it's crazy. That was like honestly the worst part of the whole thing was the phantom pains. Just because I could feel, it literally felt like my toes were dragging against the pavement. Like I had all these like pinching. It literally felt like someone was stabbing my foot, and it's all mental. So you can't like get rid of that. And so like I tried everything. Like the mirror trick doesn't work. It's a myth. There was like stim and everything, like different things. Trick? What like you sit in front of a mirror, or like you put the mirror to your left side, the side that you have a leg, so it looks like you have two legs. And so in my eyes, I feel like that's worse because you're looking at two legs and you're thinking to yourself, oh, so I do have two legs, so that's making it worse. So that never helped. And then I actually went to a hypnotist, and that's actually when they started getting better, which was pretty cool. I mean, I was so doubtful. I was like, this isn't going to work. This is stupid. And that's actually when they started getting better. And then it took about like 2 months for me to get my walking prosthetic. So that was just a whole different thing, just because it was so weird, because I basically was learning how to walk again. And the type of walking leg that I have has a microchip. So I have to charge it every night, like you charge your cell phone, and it just helps it bend. I have to put the correct amount of weight on it for it to bend, and it has sensors and everything. So it was just really difficult to try to get my mind to like actually think of how to walk. And so it did take a little bit. It took me like 3 weeks to like actually walk without a cane. And I mean, I didn't get a running blade until like 7 months after my accident because they're so expensive and insurance companies don't cover it. And so I had to start applying to foundations. I had to like reach out to different people. And then when I did find out that I was being granted with one, they told me that it was going to be like a 7-month period. So once I did get my running blade, it was insane. It's a completely different leg. It's not as stable as your walking leg. So if you take a wrong step on it, you're on your ass. So I literally was harnessed in a treadmill, and I couldn't run for more than 10 seconds at a time. My first time I was running. And it was just like I literally thought to myself, I don't want to even put this back on after this, because I literally thought it was impossible. I was never going to play lacrosse again. I was never going to run again. It was just so uncomfortable, and I felt so unstable. And I just kept showing up to PT, and then it started getting easier and easier. And then I hired a personal trainer to just have her kick my ass and just have me get back in shape. And so I could get comfortable and confident enough to run on my blade before I can even think about picking up a lacrosse stick, because that's just too many things to think about.
Now, you're obviously like super confident and super competitive. Have you met other prosthetic or other amputees who just battle with the recovery much harder than you did?
Yeah, I mean, I would say everybody has their own story. Everyone's different. People go through depression. I mean, I was lucky enough to not go through that. I think just because at the time, in the position where I was in my life, I had the amazing support system from UMass Lowell, and being a part of a Division I lacrosse team. I had that family, and to just keep me busy, keep my mind occupied, to keep me encouraging and everything, keep me confident about myself. So I really think that played a part in it, because you hear all these different stories of people going through it alone or don't have that type of support system. And I mean, it's tough. You always respect every amputee and every amputee story, because every story is different. No, like even if it happened the same way, like everybody, not one person is the same. And what might be easy for me or what might be difficult for me could be easy or difficult for somebody else. So, I mean, the girl that I train with every single day, she lost her leg when she was 10, and she never even she never had a running blade until she was 22, 23. So she went through high school and college and never played sports, and then just received a running blade one day and then was an absolute beast. So she went through a completely different process. So it's different for everybody.
Number 2, what was the hypnotist like? Like, did they do with the watch, and like, how did it work?
I don't even remember it. The only thing I kind of remember, because I literally fell asleep, or I thought I fell asleep. They just told me to think of an image and then just keep thinking of that image. So for some reason I thought of a swan, and then I was laying down. It was it was in somebody's random house. It was so weird. And I don't know, it worked. I guess it just worked. It was crazy. I literally got up and
was it a dude or a chick?
It was a girl. And so she was very spiritual and that vibe. And so I was just literally I showed up and I looked at my mom who drove me. I was like, this is so stupid. This is not going to work. And then she walks in the room and I looked at her. I was like, are you kidding me? Now I got to listen to this girl for an hour. But listen, it worked. I give her props.
You just got one session, and then what happened? You just stopped feeling the pain?
Yeah, I still get them from time to time, but literally for 20 seconds. They're not bad. I mean, I still have the phantom limb sensation where I can still feel my foot. I still have that because I went through 19 years of my life having a leg. But I've gotten used to it. It just kind of feels like a tingly feeling if I really think about it. But yeah, it's honestly not as bad. I mean, they gave me medication for it, never worked. Nothing ever worked other than the hypnotist. It was insane.
So when you say you have phantom pain, you feel like your foot's there sometimes and it will cramp up?
Yeah, I'll just get cramps. It literally will feel like someone's stabbing my foot for a second. It's insane.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, the mind is a very powerful thing.
I know. Well, I mean, it goes to show you're using it the right way. You fucking channeled.
Exactly.
I would be such a maniac if I was in your position.
You would think that if someone told me that this was gonna happen to me, I would literally be like, oh my god, I'm gonna take it awful. I'm not gonna do anything with my life, because I was that pain in the ass. For me, having this happen to me was a must, because it just changed everything about myself.
Do you believe in destiny?
Yeah, I believe things definitely happen for a reason. And I so many people said to me, I mean, I'm not really a spiritual, religious person, but God chooses people who to go through these difficult situations that he thinks can handle it. And I believe in that 100%, because
I agree.
I've definitely handled it very well. I mean, people are kind of baffled by the fact of how well I've handled it. My sense of humor is just way too much. I don't even I honestly it's crazy how much I milk it and like I enjoy it. It's great.
Now, like growing up, did you go to church or like you just have your own thoughts on God?
Yeah, no, I was never, funny story, actually. I actually got kicked out of CCD for not attending. I just never went. I had like my first communion and everything, but after that, we just know, like my family, like we never went to church or anything. I mean, but
like Christmas and Easter, right?
Yeah, like stuff like that. But like my uncle, like he was always very big and like very religious. And so like when my accident happened, like he was like praying over my bed and stuff like that. So
you're probably getting out of here.
I was very heavily medicated, so I wasn't really like listening. So that was good. But
what did they have pumping through your veins? They had a little opium or something?
I don't even know. I don't even remember, honestly. I just remember I was having a conversation. I thought I was having a conversation with 10 people around my bed and nobody was there. Like my mom walked into me. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm talking to like so and so." And she was like, "Nobody's in here." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Now, is there like a community of amputees that you're like boys with?
Yeah, like I mean, the Paralympic world is amazing. Like
random. Do you know any shark attack victims?
I do. Bethany Hamilton, Soul Surfer. I met her once, but like I'm not close with her or anything. I mean, people just assume that's how I lost my leg, and sometimes like I ride it out. It's pretty funny.
I would definitely say that. That'd be fire.
Yeah, but I don't really know anybody personally that's gone through. I mean, I know like motorcycles, trains, like train incidents where they've lost limbs. I mean, I know a lot of people who are born with it. But like, it's crazy. Like you go to these camps and everything, you go to like, when I go to the Paralympic Games, everybody has like a disability. So it's like always just like fun. It's always funny, like walking in the airport with them. Cause airport security has like a friend like freaks out and like needs to check everybody. Like it's crazy.
Now, do you have like a propensity to take bigger risks now since your accident? Are you scared of less?
I mean, I wouldn't say like I'm for adrenaline. I do all these different things, but I'm definitely like, I don't not do things just because I'm an amputee. Like I use it as a reason of like, okay, I'm an amputee. Like I want to do this so I can show other people that they could do it as well.
I know what you mean. I more so mean like, were there certain fears you had pre-accident that just don't really bother you anymore after the accident?
That's a good question.
Thanks. I'm pretty good at this thing.
Yeah. I mean, I actually rode a moped once after the accident, but I didn't drive. I was perfectly fine. I wasn't scared. I would say I'm just like more aware and like cautious. Like I could realize what could happen. But that doesn't stop me from doing certain things. I would say like I'm like very, like I realize this about myself. I'm very afraid of heights, but like I would 100% go skydiving. Like I just don't like being in like high situations or like that kind of thing. When like I climb a mountain, I don't want to be on the edge. Like I look over for 2 seconds and I'm good. But if I had the opportunity to jump out of a plane, I would 100% do it.
Now, outside of just like traditional fears, like what about, let's say like fear of failure or like fear of like career growth, stuff like that? Does that bother you anymore?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I just, you think about like going to the biggest stage and freaking out, thinking that you're going to trip or you're going to false start and all your work was for nothing. But other than that, I don't really focus too much on my career. I always believe in like, I'm that person that like is never satisfied with anything. So I'm always trying different things and always thinking like what I can do to better my future. And so that kind of just helps me set up for my future. I'm just always doing different things, but I don't really stress too much about failing in like my career or anything like that. I honestly am a big advocate of living in the moment, living in the present, and just worrying about things that I can control, because that's definitely something that I learned throughout my whole entire process and journey was I can't worry about things that I have no control in, and I need to control the things that I can only control. So
I want to ask this next question, like, and not sound like an idiot, but
you're fine.
I mean, girls care so much what dudes think, and like girls care so much about how they look. Like, were you nervous confidence wise? Like, yo, I'm not going to be as hot as I was before this. And did that ever get to you?
Yeah, like in the beginning, I mean, I was all definitely self-conscious. I think it has definitely taken me a while to get where I am today. Like, I mean, where I'm at today, like I love my prosthetic. I think it like makes me look 10 times better looking. All my friends will say that I'm hotter with this prosthetic than I was before my accident, just because it's a confidence thing. But in the beginning, it was very difficult with just like figuring out like my own style and things. Like, I mean, wearing jeans in the beginning wasn't a question for me. Like I couldn't do it because I didn't have the type of leg. It would look weird. And so I would always like try to wear like longer sweatpants and stuff like that, or like leggings. And it's taken me a while to get where I'm at today, because like for a while I didn't have a type of prosthetic foot where I couldn't wear heels, but now I'm to the point where I have this foot where I can adjust it and I can wear heels. So it's more about like, I mean, I was actually just talking to someone who's a recent amputee, and they were asking me, because they've seen my Instagram, like my style, they were just asking me, they were like, what did you do? Like, it seems like you're confident with everything. I mean, I just tell them, I mean, it's honestly up to you and like how you feel. And like, you need to find what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So that's just like the biggest thing. But yeah, I never went through a period where for too long, like I wasn't self-conscious and I wasn't like doing certain things because I was an amputee in that kind of aspect.
You mean like you always felt hot?
No, I mean, it took me a while. I would say my senior year of college is finally when I started getting the style and like
I think that's
figuring
probably when
out.
all girls start to feel better about themselves anyway, though.
Yeah, I mean, you realize that like you're just grown up and everything like that.
You feel like a grown up? Get out of here. Do you really feel like a grown up?
I
No
still consider
way.
I still consider myself in high school. It's crazy. I'm not 24 years old. I refuse to be.
I know. I'm like 25. I'm like an old man. I'm like Benjamin Button.
It's crazy. It's like so sad, but
I could be a grandfather.
yeah.
Hey B, do you want to ask Noelle a question?
Yeah, sure. Are there any like new technologies in the prosthetics industry that you get excited about that like may improve your time?
For like my running blades and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they come out with different types of running blades every single year, so that's kind of what I get excited about. And I just signed with a prosthetic company, Oser, so I get their blades for free actually, which is really cool. But I would say like the other aspect of it, like I mean, it doesn't get me excited when people talk about like leg transplants. I feel like I would never get one just because I don't want another person's leg attached to me. But I think like how they're perfecting arms and everything, how they're able to like connect it to your mind, so you're able to move your fingers and stuff. I think that's very exciting to get to the point for my everyday leg and stuff like that. But I wouldn't really get too excited about anything happening for me to improve my times on my running blade, just because the Paralympic world now is getting very strict on what you can and can't do. And because people who are double amputees, actually, like what they used to do a lot is kind of make themselves like really tall, like they're on stilts. So their stride is really long. So it takes them like a second to get going, but once they get going, they're like a freaking gazelle. But now they like made it to the point where you can't be over a certain height. Like they go by your wingspan, and if you're a centimeter off, they won't let you compete. So they're getting very strict on like what you can and can't do. So I don't think they're gonna allow anything different to be happening.
So if you could rock with one of those like bionicle iRobot type legs, you would do it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would love to try it.
Now, can you like customize your leg to like give you like doper calves and like
So they have like different, it just depends on like what brand you're using, what type of leg you're using.
Do you go with the super rip look?
I mean, mine's very skinny right now.
You got chicken legs. Oh, you got to hit the gym.
Yeah, no, actually, everyone always makes fun of it. They always say that, like on my Instagrams and stuff. I mean, like I'll always say, like I've been working on my calf muscle on my running blade, and everyone's like, it's literally like this thin. So it's crazy.
So lifting wise, you're doing like a lot of single leg squats or?
No, so lifting, I do everything equally because I need to have as much of muscle as I have left in my left leg. And so when I do squats, I usually I've go down as far as I can, but I think what's really effective to me is quarter squats. And I mean, I'm up to like 250 on that. So like I can get to like strong weights, but I mean, that was always something that I was very, that was important to me. It was always, every time I did like a weight room workout, I was always doing it equal on each side. Just because running, I need to use all the muscles I can in my left side.
I was going to say, so like, what is your training like as a sprinter in the gym right now? Just like a lot of explosive work, a lot of like 5x5s.
Yeah. So, I mean, it changes just because like in the off season, it's like any other sport. In the off season, you lift really heavy, and then in season, you don't lift as heavy. But I mean, right now, I would just say I focus on basically everything in my body, and then I just focus more on like exploding so I can get an explosion out of the blocks and everything like that. My trainer is very good about like switching things up on me. We don't have like a set workout routine where it's the same every single week. It's always different. We're always working on different things.
Are you benching?
Yeah, I still bench.
What are you putting up?
Like 105. I'm not trying to get.
We'll take it.
Yeah, no, I'm not. That's never been my strong suit. But like I still do like deadlifts, hang cleans, like stuff like that. It's crazy. I mean, like I can literally do anything. It's just if there's something that I can't do, like I just need to tweak it a little bit, and then I'll be fine.
If you could do one exercise in the gym for the rest of your life, what would you do? And before you answer this is going to say a lot about you.
I would say back squats. I love squats.
We were having such a good conversation.
Why? What would yours be?
I think people who like squats are actually sick, like actually have real problems.
I mean, they're awful.
I actually think you need a mental evaluation. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
I would 100%. I think I'd probably do pull-ups.
Yeah, I mean, I do those. I do chin-ups and pull-ups every day. That's just like kind of like I do like a certain workout every single night before I go to bed and stuff. Just like abs and then push-ups and then chin-ups or pull-ups. It's just something I always do.
So if you were to go do some like distance miles, how fast could you run?
Oh my God, I don't even know. I haven't even
like a mile.
I would say right now, like I can maybe do it. If I was actually trying, I could do it in like 7 to 8 minutes. But
that's like normal.
I know, but that's just 1 mile. If I was doing multiple, it would probably be freaking 10-minute miles. I kid you not.
Well, I'm out here on the Charles every Sunday until we drop our movie. I'm doing long runs. So if you want to join me for one, I would love it.
Yeah, no, I can't run long distance. It's literally the hardest thing.
No, do 1 mile. Just do one.
All right. We'll see.
So question for you. We talked about a little bit on the phone. As a sprinter, your diet right now is like, yo, you kind of just, because I was like on the phone, I was like, what are you doing for diet? Like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but I pretty much eat whatever I want.
Yeah. I mean, because I work out as much as I do, like I usually just focus on like the calories and like just keeping the protein inside me. I'm not really big on like maintaining like a certain diet. Like it's just something that has always worked for me. Like something that's always worked for me is intermediate fasting, like we talked about.
And like, I only like to eat like within 6 or 7 hours within a day. I don't really like eating too late at night because waking up in the morning, I don't like feeling that food in my stomach. And I'm also very weird. I don't like eating like a big breakfast before I lift or before I practice because I don't like feeling it inside me. But what I'll usually do, like what my workout plan usually is I usually lift first, and then I usually have to drive like an hour to practice. So I usually eat literally in the car on my way to practice. I usually have like prepackaged meals. And then like I will wait a few hours after practice, couple hours, and then I'll eat dinner. So I only usually eat like a later breakfast and then an earlier dinner, and then maybe having a couple snacks, and then I'm good for the day.
Well, I'm starving. So let's wrap this up, dude. Hey, did you have fun?
Exactly.
I said, did you have fun?
Oh, absolutely. I had a great time. You were very easy to talk to. These are the kind of interviews I love. Just very laid back, very like getting to the point, but having a good time doing it.
Sweet. Who is better, me or Kelly Clarkson?
I would say you.
She said it. I'm going to clip it. All right, listen, we have 2 bits to end the show.
Okay.
Number one, what size sweatshirt do you rock?
I just rock a medium.
All right, I'll get your address after this and I'll ship you one.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's number one. Number 2, I'm releasing a movie in the spring.
Yes, you told me that. Yeah.
I need you, when I drop it, to get with all your shorty friends that go to Capo and party, drink the White Claws. I know that.
Yep.
You guys got to get together and just watch it. That's all I'm asking.
All right, I got you. We'll definitely watch it. I got a lot of friends, so I will definitely hook you up with that.
Sweet. And if you hate it, you can knock me out. If you like it, you just got to spread the good word.
I will. Don't you worry.
All right. And the final bit is, this is how we start and end the show. You have to say, hi, your name, and this is my golden hour. Directly after, no break, you have to say, hi, your name, and that was my golden hour.
Okay. So I have to say my name, hi, my name. Wait, I have to do it twice or once? You're confusing me. See, I'm not,
I don't know.
You can totally tell I wasn't a schoolgirl.
I don't know, man. You tell me. Just give it a try.
Okay. Hi, my name's Noelle Lambert, and this is my golden hour. Hi, my name's Noelle Lambert, and that was my golden hour.
That was perfect. You killed it.
All right. That's what you meant. Okay.
All right. Hey, Noelle, I'm glad we met. This was fun.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Conor, for having me on.
For sure. And again, I'll get your address. I'll ship you over a hoodie, and then I'll see you out on the Charles this Sunday. We'll get like 15 miles in.
All right. Sounds great.
All right. See you later.
All right.